In the golden palace of Mahabalipuram, young Prince Narasimhavarman walked beside his father, the great King Mahendravarman I, affectionately called Mamallan. The little boy held a sword with excitement. His father, smiling, patted his shoulder as they walked through the lush royal gardens filled with blooming flowers and towering trees. Mahendravarman, placing great trust in his son, began to teach him the delicate art of warfare. In a wide training ground, Mamallan practiced swinging his sword, while his father carefully instructed him on every move. But the peace in the Pallava kingdom did not last long. From the north, a mighty force approached, led by the powerful Chalukya king Pulikesi II. His advancing army cast a dark cloud of fear over the Pallava people. Villages were burned to ashes, smoke rose high into the sky, and the angry face of Pulikesi declared the horrors of war upon Pallava soil. In the midst of this turmoil, the Pallavas faced another tragedy. King Mahendravarman was wounded in battle. Unable to continue the fight, he was forced to cede some northern territories to Pulikesi. He never recovered from his injuries and lay bedridden. His son Narasimhavarman held his father's hands with tear-filled eyes. As Mahendravarman breathed his last, Mamallan clenched his fists with a burning rage, swearing vengeance against Pulikesi for the loss of his father. This loss deeply impacted Mamallan's heart. After Mahendravarman's death, Narasimhavarman ascended the throne. During a grand coronation ceremony, the royal crown was placed upon his head. With the royal priest chanting mantras, Mamallan sat on the throne with a determined gaze. Ministers and citizens around him cheered with joy. The royal hall was magnificently decorated with sculptures and pillars. As Narasimhavarman sat on the throne, he vowed to fulfill his father's dreams, reclaim the lost lands, and protect the Pallava Empire. Driven by vengeance for his father's death, Narasimhavarman led his army into battle. In his very first attack, he launched a fierce war against Pulikesi's forces. On the battlefield of Manimangalam, the courage of the Pallava army shone brightly. Seated atop his war elephant, Mamallan led the troops with a face filled with resolve and fury. Sword clashes and spear throws intensified the battle. At last, Pulikesi was defeated by Mamallan. The Chalukya king fell to the ground, and Mamallan stood tall before him, sword in hand, while Pallava soldiers roared in victory. Following this triumph, Mamallan laid siege to the Chalukyan capital, Vatapi. The massive fort walls challenged the Pallava forces. Soldiers fought hard to breach the walls and gates. Mamallan, alongside his troops, broke open the main gate and entered the city. A fierce battle ensued. Wielding his sword, Mamallan struck down enemies and ultimately, he raised the Pallava flag atop Vatapi's fort. After this grand victory, Mamallan was honored with the title Vatapi Kondan, Conqueror of Vatapi. In a royal assembly, the chief priest and ministers bestowed this valorous title upon him, which he humbly accepted. After his military conquests, Narasimhavarman turned his attention to art and culture. Mahabalipuram stood as a testament to his passion for sculpture. The construction of the shore temple began. Giant stones were brought in, and workers raised walls under Mamallan's direct supervision. The Five Rathas, chariots, represented the peak of his artistic vision. Each Ratha was uniquely carved with exquisite designs. Mamallan visited the site with his family, admiring the craftsmanship. The Arjuna's Penance relief showcased his love for art. Carved animals, human figures, and the scene of Arjuna meditating under a flowing Ganges brought the sculpture to life. During Narasimhavarman's reign, the Pallava Empire flourished in every domain. Chinese traveler Xuanzang visited Kanchipuram's royal court. Mamallan warmly welcomed him, and Xuanzang recorded the kingdom's prosperity, architecture, and people with admiration in his notes. Mamallan contributed immensely to the development of education. Grand libraries were built, and numerous palm leaf manuscripts were stored for students. He established schools and ensured teachers imparted knowledge to the youth. He strengthened foreign relations and maritime trade. The Mahabalipuram port bustled with merchant ships. Mamallan personally visited the harbor, watching traders load and unload goods. Mamallan also fought and triumphed over the Pandyas. In a fierce battle between Pallava and Pandya forces, he led the charge atop his elephant and defeated the Pandyan army. Not stopping there, Mamallan launched a naval expedition to Sri Lanka. A fleet of large ships sailed in formation, and Mamallan stood on the deck of a ship, gazing toward the distant island. The Pallava flag fluttered atop the Sri Lankan fort as the Lankan king paid respects to Mamallan. To record his achievements, Mamallan commissioned numerous inscriptions. As artisans carved the scripts, Mamallan stood nearby, watching the letters being etched into stone. For his valor and artistic passion, Mamallan earned many titles. The name Mamallan signified his prowess and skill in wrestling. People also praised him as Athamallan, a warrior so powerful that enemies fled in fear while he stood alone, defeating many foes. Narasimhavarman was not just a warrior, but a compassionate ruler who cared deeply for his people. He initiated welfare schemes and built large reservoirs. He visited farmlands and saw the joy of farmers at work. He built roads and bridges, improving transportation and trade. Engineers worked under his guidance to bring these projects to life. During his reign, temple festivals and cultural events were celebrated with grandeur. People dressed in colorful attire, dancing and singing with joy. He supported the performing arts and appreciated theater artists. Seated in his royal court, Mamallan delivered fair and just rulings. Under his rule, Kanchipuram thrived. Markets bustled with trade, shops opened, and the city buzzed with activity. Mamallan trained his son, Mahendravarman II, in the arts of war and governance. In his old age, Narasimhavarman sat peacefully on his throne, his face reflecting contentment and calm. After a lifetime of service to the Pallava Empire, the great king passed away peacefully in his palace. Even today, the Shore Temple, Five Rathas, and the Arjuna's Penance relief at Mahabalipuram stand as eternal symbols of Narasimhavarman's glory and artistic passion. His name, etched in golden letters, remains immortal in the history of the Pallava dynasty. Until we meet again in the next chapter of this empire saga.